Do you ever feel that strange, unshakable sense that something is missing? Even when everything in your life looks fine on paper, you have stability, a roof over your head, routines that keep you safe. Nothing is falling apart. And yet, there's this quiet itch, a whisper that comes when you're alone. There's more than this. Before we go further, if this kind of deep dive helps you grow, subscribe. And turn on notifications now so you don't miss the next chapter of this journey into your mind. Most people ignore the whisper. They bury it under their daily routines. They numb it with comfort food, streaming shows, and endless scrolling. But here's the truth. That whisper is the voice of your potential. And if you keep ignoring it, it will eventually grow quiet. Not because it was wrong, but because you've stopped listening. That voice is telling you something you might not want to hear. You've been living inside invisible walls. They are familiar, predictable, and in their own way safe. Call them the comfort zone. At first, the comfort zone feels like a blessing. It's where you know the rules, where you can predict the outcomes. But over time, what feels safe begins to shrink your world. Stop reaching, stop risking, stop truly living. And the worst part, most of the time, you don't even notice it's happening. The comfort zone is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to keep you from feeling pain. Your brain evolved for survival, not fulfillment. Thousands of years ago, staying close to the tribe and avoiding the unknown meant higher chances of staying alive. That instinct still lives in you today, even though the threats are no longer predators or famine. But awkward conversations, unfamiliar challenges, and situations where you might fail. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux's research shows that the amygdala, your brain's alarm system, reacts to uncertainty as if it were danger. It doesn't matter if the unknown holds opportunity. The alarm still sounds. This is why even small risks, speaking up in a meeting, trying something you've never done before, can feel disproportionately uncomfortable. But here's the trap. Every time you avoid that discomfort, you feel relief. That relief is chemical, a dopamine hit for staying safe. Your brain remembers it and reinforces it, creating a loop. Fear of the unknown gives avoidance, gives relief, gives stronger fear. This loop is how comfort becomes confinement. Think of the last time you were offered something new, a project, a trip, a chance to meet someone important, and you said no. You had reasons, of course. They sounded logical. It's not the right time. I'm not ready. I'll try later. But what if those reasons weren't the truth? What if they were fear, wearing the mask of reason? The hidden cost is enormous. Every no to discomfort is also a no to growth. While you sit in comfort, the world moves forward. Skills go unused. Potential remains locked away. Dreams, the kind you used to picture vividly, fade until they feel like someone else's life. And because the decline is so gradual, you barely notice. There's a concept in psychology called homeostasis. In the body, it's the process of keeping things stable. Your temperature, your heart rate, your blood sugar. Psychologically, we do the same with our emotions and identity. We have a baseline, and anything that pulls us too far from it, even positive change, triggers a pullback to what's familiar. This is why even when people achieve something incredible, they sometimes sabotage it. The success feels foreign, so they drift back to the life they recognize. Imagine two versions of yourself 5 years from now. In one, you've stayed in the same patterns. You've avoided risks, kept the same circle, lived the same days. You've mastered comfort, but your world is smaller. In the other, you've made a habit of leaning into discomfort. Not recklessly, but consistently. You've taken on challenges, embraced failure as feedback, and learned things you once thought were beyond you. Which version has more stories to tell? Which one feels more alive? Here's a paradox. The comfort zone can feel uncomfortable, but in a familiar way. You can feel bored, restless, even frustrated, yet still convinced it's safer than change. This is why so many people stay in jobs they dislike, in relationships that drain them, or in habits that keep them stuck. The devil you know feels less frightening than the angel you don't. But every meaningful experience you've had, learning to walk, making a friend, falling in love, starting something new, happened outside of it. Those moments were awkward, uncertain, maybe even terrifying. But they were the moments that shaped you. Stepping out doesn't have to mean making huge, reckless leaps. There's a principle called optimal anxiety, the sweet spot where the challenge is just enough to stretch you without breaking you. Too much at once and your nervous system will push back hard. But small, deliberate expansions teach your brain that discomfort can be safe. This is where neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself, works in your favor. Every time you do something slightly outside your comfort zone, you're creating new neural pathways. Speak up when you'd normally stay silent. Take a different route home. Say yes to an opportunity that makes you hesitate. Each act teaches your brain. This is possible. I can handle this. Over time, what was once fear becomes familiar. There's another layer. Identity. The longer you stay in your comfort zone, the more your self-image hardens. You start to believe, I'm just not the kind of person who does that. These beliefs aren't facts, they're stories. And stories can be rewritten. When you visualize yourself taking the action you fear, your brain activates many of the same circuits as if you were doing it in real life. This prepares you to act differently when the moment comes. If this is resonating so far, take 3 seconds. Hit the like button and tell me in the comments one small discomfort you'll face this week. Your commitment helps more people find this message, and it locks your intention in place. Let's go deeper into daily life. Picture this. You're at your desk, and an email arrives inviting you to present an idea to senior leadership. Your stomach tightens. Instantly, your mind offers protection. I'm too busy. Maybe next quarter. Close the email. Relief the loop completes. Imagine a different script. You feel the same surge of adrenaline, and label it as energy. You write back. Yes. You stumble in the prep. You overthink a slide. You practice twice as long as you planned. Then you present. Maybe it's not perfect. Maybe you shake. But the loop rewires. Challenge gives action, gives pride. That single rep makes the next rep easier. This is how comfort zones expand. Not by demolition, but by steady construction. Your environment is part of your comfort zone too. If you spend your time with people who avoid risk, you'll inherit their limits. Curate your inputs. Seek conversations that stretch you. Place reminders of your goals where you work and rest. Even posture matters. Stand tall, breathe deep. Move like someone who expects growth. The body tells the brain a story. The brain narrates your life to match it. Now, let's acknowledge a fear beneath the fear. What if you change, and people don't like the new you? What if growth costs you approval? Sometimes it will. That's part of the price. But ask yourself, is the approval you're protecting worth the life you're postponing? The right people won't be threatened by your expansion. They'll be inspired by it, and the ones who fall away, they were holding on to the version of you that kept you small. Here's a practical framework to begin now. First, choose one area where you've been avoiding discomfort. Name the exact action. Second, reduce the leap to the smallest possible step you can take in 48 hours. Third, create a visible scoreboard. A note in your phone, a calendar, a sticky on your mirror. Every rep outside your comfort zone gets a mark. Fourth, pair the action with a physical cue. A deep inhale and a slow exhale, so your nervous system learns to associate discomfort with calm. Fifth, reward the behavior, not the outcome. Celebrate the rep, even if the result is messy. This is how you train your brain to crave growth. Reframe the sensations, the quickened heartbeat, the tighter throat, the buzzing in your limbs. They're not signs that you're failing. They're your system powering up. Fear and excitement share a body. You decide the story. Whisper to yourself, this is energy for what matters. Over time, your baseline changes. The thing that once terrified you becomes the warm-up. Remember, staying comfortable too long blurs the line between surviving and living. You avoid pain, but also joy. You avoid risk, but also reward. Your days become maintenance instead of creation. You start defending a life that doesn't inspire you, simply because it's familiar. The unspoken truth about the comfort zone is that it's not a sanctuary. It's a slow, quiet thief. It steals potential not by force, but by seducing you into staying still. So here's the invitation you've been avoiding. Step once into the unknown today. Not tomorrow, today. Send the message, make the call. Say yes to the room that scares you. Walk toward the version of you that keeps visiting your thoughts at 2 a.m. If this video sparked something real, share it with one person who needs this nudge. Save it to revisit on tough days. And subscribe for the next chapter. Then take your first small step before the day ends. The door was never locked. and everything you want is on the other side.